Ivan Pavlenko, From Family to Family, Chapter 3, Part 3, Komsomol Time, read by Natalia Buzova. I was considered a hard worker at work and an activist in the cultural life of the village. Obviously, that's why once the secretary of the Komsomol organization suggested that I join the Komsomol. I hesitated a bit and then agreed. I wrote a statement and a biography, but did not mention having been a war prisoner, and I was accepted at meetings and in the district committee of the Komsomol. After the Komsomol ticket was handed over, I was invited to a conversation by the head of the organizational department of the regional committee, Grigory Shumilov, also a front-line soldier and in the future my good advisor and partner in joint work. He literally said the following. The Komsomol organization does not actually operate in Yashniki. The tasks before the village Komsomol are now great. They must be at the forefront of the struggle for the harvest and for the further rise of productivity in animal husbandry. A secretary with political experience and useful fire is needed here. You went through the war, you actually have a secondary education, and in the village you enjoy authority among the youth. We consulted at the bureau and decided to offer you this honorable position. I think you will not refuse. A few days later, I was elected secretary of the Komsomol organization of the village. After the meeting, we sat down and dealt with the Komsomol household. It consisted of one tattered folder in which there were several protocol papers and receipts for the payment of membership fees. Next, Grigory dictated to me which folders should be created and thoroughly explained and estimated on paper how to draw up a work plan, hold meetings, and draw up protocols. The longest conversation was about where to start and in what direction to develop the work. On Shumilov's advice, I started to create a qualitatively new organization. In the first year, more than 20 boys and girls aged 16 to 20 joined our ranks. Soon, I visited a regional seminar for young secretaries of Komsomol organizations. I was well pumped up there, and I eagerly got down to work. First of all, I started new folders, work plans, protocols, directives from the district, registration of members of the All Union, Leninist Communist Youth Union, and payment of membership fees, as well as a folder of current affairs. I maintained them, one might say, in an exemplary manner. On field work and farms, Komsomol members set an example in their work. In winter, we often organized Sunday work for the removal of manure to the fields, and we went out with our cows, and during the harvest, we held nighttime cutting of bread. Our Komsomol youth unit, headed by Tatiana Olshanska, was praised by the district newspaper for the fact that the girls prepared a lot of ash and bad droppings for the sugar beet and corn fields. Now, I sometimes think, what prompted me to such an activity? Injured sense of self-worth? You, they say, have put a cross on me, and I will prove to you what I am capable of. Apparently, I wanted to prove that I was not from the category in which the Stalin barriers clique enrolled me. Or maybe I was just fighting, like everything that lives on earth, for a place under the sun. Whatever it was, the Komsomol captured me, twisted and whirled me. During the day, I went to work with the boys, trying to be where something important was being decided. And in the evening, I held meetings, political classes, and rehearsals because I was simultaneously the secretary of the primary organization and a propagandist in a political group and an actor and stage director. It was as if I was reborn morally and spiritually. I myself began to believe and convince others that only through hard work, only with one's own hands, one can change life for the better. And I did everything for that. But often, in the depths of the soul, something scratched and teased. What are you fighting and agitating for? You are a human devil. They'll find out and throw you away as garbage or somewhere far away. At the beginning of the summer of 1946, people at a meeting decided to repair and warm the club. They found a stove maker who installed new stoves, and we organized Sunday work, and the club became suitable for work in winter conditions. Immediately, everyone decided to collect money for an accordion. An initiative group was chosen, and a week later, they bought a brand new Hromka. And a tambourine was made and presented to the club by Makar Kononenko. Ivan Stitsenko and Vasil Brovko knew how to play the accordion, and a little later, Vasil Kumpan. Dancing started in the club. Hopak, various polkas, Krakowiak, and some others were mainly danced. At that time, foxtrots and tangos were not yet known in the village, and young people were just beginning to dance waltzes. Mostly girls danced. Boys simply did not know how, but they learned and gained this experience as well. As a result, dosvitki ceased to exist forever, but there were večernici on the streets on starry summer evenings. The collective fund presented the club with a Rodina radio receiver. It was also an event. Every evening, Prokopenko solemnly brought it to the stage, switched Moscow or Kiev on, and young people listened to the latest news, interesting programs, music, songs performed by outstanding artists. And once, when everyone had left, Prokopenko suggested that I listen to foreign broadcasts. We locked ourselves in the library, turned on the receiver, and had something about Stalin on a short radio wave that sends goosebumps. The transmission was being muffled, but it was still possible to understand. It was said that tens of millions of innocent people were shot and poached in the Soviet Union, that our prisons and camps were full of political prisoners. For just listening to such latest news, you could get to hell. But Alexander Romanovich and I shared the same fate as prisoners of war, and we agreed to continue listening without telling anyone or anywhere about what we had.